Hey everyone, it's Eugene Lisho here, and today what I'm going to be doing is going through a very simple example inside of Vision-3D. And some of you may know what Vision-3D is already. Basically, I'll go through, I'll start with, what it is and why it is, and then, go through sort of step by step, how to use the program. It's really, really simple. So, once you see one example, I think that you'll probably get the idea. First off, so what is Vision-3D? Well, Vision-3D sort of came about as an idea I had actually a long time ago, and that was really just to create a virtual 3D model, something that you could share with people. And I like this because you can give someone who maybe is not technical or doesn't have fancy software for, manipulating 3D point clouds or whatever, some data, some 3D data. But on top of that, you want to be able to add media. So you want to add photos and videos and text files and things like that. And this way it makes a more sort of dynamic experience with the models. And originally I was sort of being a little bit selfish because I was thinking about Recon-3D and, how I could help users of Recon-3D to, share their data. And, this program, though, will ingest mesh models and even point clouds from various formats. You just need to convert them over to like E57, and the meshes can be like PLY and OBJ. So it gives you some different avenues for sharing different types of things. And it's not just limited to one point cloud. When you import, you can do various things here. So you can combine a mesh model with a point cloud, 2 different point clouds, 3 different point clouds, whatever that might be. So let's get started here. And what I'm going to do is just start a very fresh project. So I already have a folder set up, and in that folder, I have a number of materials. So I guess that's the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you have all your resources ready. So you've scanned something and you've got a point cloud, or maybe you flew a drone and you've got a photogrammetry model or something like that, right? So it's good to organize everything in a folder, and this way it's all localized and it's easy to work with. So before we begin, we're going to start a new project. And by doing that, it's up here. You begin a new scene. You click on this button and it says, okay, well, what do you want to do? So you have the choice here of, working in small units or inches, feet. I'm going to stick with meters for now. And then you also have the option of choosing a Z up system or a Y up system. So some different programs will have the vertical axis as Y up. And, I'm used to using Z up, although I have used both. It's not a big deal, but I'm just go ahead and hit create. Okay, so now that we've got this, you'll see that we have this hierarchy here. We've got our properties, and then we've got a number of options here across the top, these little icons. So we'll begin with the settings. So when you click on the settings, you'll see that if you scroll down here, and I do this like that, it says, your field of view for the camera, your text font size, tag size. We'll come back and probably manipulate some of this if we need to. And up here, we have some visibility things. So for example, this is the grid off and on. This is to show the tags, right? It's on by default, but I don't have any tags showing right now. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to import a point cloud. Okay. So in order to do that, I've got 2 options. So one is add point cloud, and the other one here is adding like a 3D model. So this would be for a meshed object, something with textures, or it could just be a regular 3D model with meshes. So we're going to do the point cloud, and give me a second and I'll get the proper data in here. Okay, so here I've got this burn cell. This was an exercise that I did in San Diego at last, I guess it was November. So I'm going to bring that in. So while it's importing, it's going to ask you, hey, what are the units of this particular scan or whatever it is that you're bringing in? So I know that this is in meters, and I know that the Z is up. So I'm going to keep this as is. Now, sometimes you have a scale point cloud. It's in feet or in inches. This is where you would change it. You have to tell Vision-3D, hey, this is in inches or feet or whatever. And, it's in a different coordinate system. Maybe the Y is up, but I don't need to do that. I'm just going to go add. And there you go. I have the point cloud. Now, you'll see that the point cloud now is not centered sort of to the bottom. So I can change this. If I click on it, okay, I've got these little controllers, and I should mention here in the view, left mouse button is rotate. I'm just zooming with the mouse, and then right mouse button is to pan. So if I just hit the left mouse button, I've got these controllers. I'm going to click on the arrow, and I'm just going to lift this up to about the grid level, like the 0 level. Okay, that's good enough. just to kind of keep it centered and it's not falling under the grid. Okay, I'll click off of that, and that's good there. And this is it. I've got this data in here. Now, if I wanted to bring in more data, like a vehicle or something else, I definitely could do that, but I'm going to stick with this for now. So what am I going to do from here? Well, I'm going to start adding tags, and tags are all the different types of media that you can attach to the point cloud. So I'm going to start with an image. So over here it says add image tag. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, and I need to pick a location where I'm going to place this thing. So where am I going to place some of the images? And, you know, I might have an image over here or over here. I'm just checking to see what I've got. I've got one from this side. So let's say something over here. I'm going to click, and it says, okay, well, you know, what are these images? What are you going to be bringing in? So I'm going to do this burn cell image like that. Okay, it's just a photograph, and you'll see that it places a camera tag. Okay, so I have these controllers. What I can do is I can lift this up a bit just to kind of give it a little bit of elevation. No problem. And the tag size is pretty big. So it's a big, you know, circle here. I may want to change that. So I do that in my settings. So I just got to go back to my settings. Okay, let me click off of it for a second. Settings, and then I go to my tag size. I'll just scroll down here. It's text font size. Where's my tag size? There it is, 100. So let's say I go to 50. Okay, so it goes small like that. And I like them to be a little bit smaller. I don't like them to be too large. So that's an image. And from here on in, it's pretty much rinse and repeat for the different types of image formats. So let's say, for example, I want to bring in a panoramic image. So that's this guy over here. I'm going to click on that. Where am I going to put this guy? Well, I think I'm going to put him, I didn't want to put it there. Let me try over here. So near these evidence cones over here, I'm going to put something like that. And then it says evidence markers. I'm going to choose that one. You'll see it gives me the same tag. I'm going to lift it up like that at about this height. I know this because I had a 360 camera on a tripod, and it was about at this elevation. And I guess, you know, you can already click on these and they will activate the media. So if I double click on the photograph, you'll see that I've got this here, and you can change the orientation. So if something comes in and it's like, you know, crooked, or it's 90 degrees or something like that, you can just rotate it around. You can also flip the image horizontally and vertically. Okay. And it's just in these little controllers down here. So that's good. This one is already set up. The panoramic image, if I click on that, you'll see that I've got that set up as well. Okay, so I've got like I got a nice clear shot of the evidence markers here, so that's good for me. Now there is a little bug here. You'll see that I don't have the controllers, but I gotta lift the image. It's just outside of the screen. It's a little bug that we've noticed, but you can flip the image left and right or horizontally, whatever, but that'll be corrected in the next version. Okay, what else can we do? Let's work on a couple of other different types of tags. Well, how about a video? Let's see, what kind of video do I get? Well, I got a couple of videos, I think. I'll do this, let's say at the front, right there. And there's this one, flash over. So I'm going to double click on that one. And this was recorded from farther away, but I'll put this up here. And this is one where, well, we were just kind of witnessing the fire grow and then sort of flash over. So this is it here, as you can see. Okay, so that'll play when I double click it. Let me stop that and get rid of that. And let's keep going. I'm going to add some text. So this is just a text tag. You can add whatever you want. I'm going to click it. Maybe I'll put it at the top here like that. And this was from the IAFSM conference in, I think it was November 2024. And this was in San Diego, just like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, and now you'll see that when I hover over this, okay, it says IFSM. Okay, great. And again, I can also change the text size here. So if I go to my settings again, let's see here, settings and tag size, I got text size. So let me make this 14. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, you'll see that it's much smaller now. So it's not too big. But hey, if you want it larger for different screen sizes and such, no problem. You can keep that there. Okay, let's keep going. I've got this viewpoint. So a viewpoint is basically saving a camera position. So if I want to go inside of here like that, and I'm like, hey, I want to save this position. All right, this is an important position. I got to look at all this, these evidence cones here. What I do is I just hit the eyeball. Okay, and then it's already in place. Okay, it locks the camera position in place. So you'll see that there's like an eyeball over here. And if I move away from this and double click this, it'll fly into position. So it basically gets you back into that position that you were at, which is great. And I haven't labeled these, but you can also, I should say, you can just call these evidence cones view. So you can rename these just to make it a little bit more legible if I can spell properly. Why not? Let's correct that. Okay, good. So we've got that. That's wonderful. And we also have the text object here. So there's a little text object. So this one here, if you click on it, let's say, I don't know, maybe I'll just put it up in the corner here like that. It says, hey, what do you want to bring in? Well, maybe I can bring in the schedule as a PDF. Now, I could bring it in as a PowerPoint, but I'm going to stick with the PDF. It's just a little bit more universal, I think. Many people may not have PowerPoint on their computers. So if they don't have it, it's not going to launch. And that's an important point here. All these types of tags and things that I'm putting in here. So for example, if I put in a JPEG image, most people have a JPEG program on their computers that will open up a JPEG image. But let's say, for example, in the video, if I give like an MOV or some kind of a strange video file format, it may not open on the person's computer. And again, this is when we're delivering the product, which I haven't done yet, but I'll show you that in just a second here, okay? So we've got our little text tag. If I double click that, you'll see that it opens the PDF here, and it says, you know, what's going on that day or whatever. So November 4th. Great. Okay. So let's also do a point coordinate here. So if you click on the point coordinates, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this evidence cone number 8, if I click on that, I can add a little point coordinate. So it gives me the XYZ coordinates in 3D space relative to this particular point cloud and in the 3D volume here, in the world space here. So I've got that, and that's nice. I can hover over it anytime, and I can also add a measurement. So just right beside it here, I've got this thing. I'm going to click on it, and I don't know, I'll just take any measurement across the floor here, just like that, and maybe like this. Okay, so it says it's 2.37 meters. That's fine. So this is the basic workflow, what you need to do, how you would add tags and things like this. I should mention that there is a lot more coming. This is our very first release, so we haven't done a whole heck of a lot in terms of new features and enhancements and things like that. So we have some things that are probably going to be out in a couple of months from when I'm recording this video, maybe even less. That's going to add a lot of flexibility and a lot more tools. So once I've got this, what I need to do is I need to export this. But I'm actually going to save this first because I don't want to lose anything. So I'm going to save this, and I'll call this, let's see, the burn cell demonstration. Sure, why not? Okay, I'll save it. Great. So I've got this locked away. Then what I'm going to do is just up top here, I'm going to go to export scene. Okay, well, I want to export this scene. I'm going to click on that. Okay, I'm going to put it in the same location, but I'm going to call this the burn cell, and I'm just going to call it the viewer. Okay, it's the viewer because that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be creating a viewer for people. So Vision-3D itself is an editor, so it allows people to author these little viewable packages. Okay, so that's important. And then once you export it, you're going to create this little zip file. So let me switch over here in a second, and then you'll be able to see this. Okay, so what I've done is I've exported the viewer from Vision-3D and I put it on my desktop here. So this zip file right here is what you would typically send somebody, and all they have to do is unzip it and basically run what's in the folder. Now I've already extracted this, so it's down here. I'm going to double click on it, and you'll see that I've got a bin folder and I've got a batch file, Vision-3D batch file. All you need to do is double click on the batch file. That's it. So it doesn't install anything. It's just a self-running file. Now, caveat here. The person who is running this needs to run this on a decent computer. So it is a computer that needs a graphics card. So it can't be, an old computer from 30 years ago that just has an internal card or not even a card. So it needs to be something decent or half decent, but it's always something you can test beforehand. Okay. So I'm going to double click this and I'm going to launch the viewer. So you'll see here right off the bat. Okay. I'll just maximize this so it's easier to see. But you'll notice that the options here are very, very limited. Okay, there's just a few little view things that you can have in here, and this allows the person to manipulate this around and then have a look. So if I double click on my text file, you see I open that up as a PDF. Okay, if I go to my little image here, my JPEG image, you'll see that that brings that up. If I want to see the video, I'll double click that one and that works. Okay, there we go, got the video. And so forth and so on. Okay, so like the panoramic image here, if I go around, right, I can see all that and do what it is that I need to do. Now, again, if you're attaching files here, okay, so if they're PDFs, if you put something specific like maybe a Word document, but somebody isn't going to be able to open a Word document, it's maybe better to put it as a PDF and you just ensure that they have a PDF viewer, or it could just be a text file, a simple notepad file or something. Most programs or most software systems or computers will have some kind of a text editor that will open that up, no problem. And, you know, everything else pretty much works, right? You see, I hover over the text object. I should say there's a lot of little options and things that you can do in here afterwards. I haven't shown everything. I just want to give you a simple idea of how this all works, including an option here to save a screenshot. So if I click on that, you'll see it comes up with a screenshot. I can save that, and then, you know, you can just save this out. And the idea here is that this viewer is meant to be interactive. It's something that you would want to use at trial, and it's something that you could give an attorney, a lawyer, a jury, a judge, and they could manipulate this very, very easily without a lot of options and a lot of headache. So that's pretty much it for Vision-3D. Really simple to use, but if you're interested, just go over to the website, the Recon3D website, because I've got it listed there. So recon-3d.com, and you'll see a menu item that says Vision-3D, and you can check it out from there. Okay, thanks everyone. Hey, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.